Lethbridge, A Tale of Love in a Time of War. Written by Terry McConnell. I've been to see Dr. Barnardo. Laura starts crying. Elizabeth brings a napkin to her face. She, too, is in tears. Sid looks down, his hands clasped together on the table. Harry, however, continues to stare intently at his father. The mere mention of Dr. Barnardo's name is reason enough to stir anxious feelings in London's children. He's known for the orphanages he runs. They take in not only the kids who are without parents, but those whose parents can't care for them. These Barnardo orphans, commonly referred to as homeboys, are shipped overseas to work on farms as free labour. That part of it, however, is kept from families who agree in desperation to give Dr. Barnardo their children. They believe they're giving their kids the path to a better life. "He has agreed to take you both," William says. There is an audible gasp in the room, as if the oxygen has been sucked out. "You'll be going to Canada. Dr. Barnardo has assured me he will keep you two together." Laura begins to sob. Tears run down Sid's face. Harry strives harder to quell his rolling emotions. "Please," Sid says. "Father, don't do this. We'll get jobs here, too, like Laura. You'll see. We'll get it sorted." "No, my mind is made up." Sid crumples in tears. Laura is now wailing. Elizabeth sobs. Harry just stares. We're looking for Sidney William Walker. It has been 30 days since the boys' world had been turned upside down. They were aboard the SS Southwark out of Liverpool, and the ship has just docked in Montreal. It is hot and muggy, and Harry feels a heaviness in his chest he had not felt before. The booming voice can be heard coming from the hallway that threads its way through the ship's steerage. Suddenly, 2 men appear in the doorway to the cramped cabin the boys share with 6 others. The men scan the room, and all the boys do their best to ignore them. All except Harry. He thinks the men look like the dock workers he would often see in the East End, but he wonders if they really work on the docks. They are big and burly, with thick arms and barrel chests, and they smell of sweat and whiskey. He tells himself they don't look like nice men. The boys continue to busy themselves packing their bags. They're all dressed the same. Cub Scout-type hats, shirts with collars and ties, and short pants, probably still too warm for July in eastern Canada. "Walker, Sidney William," one of the men repeats in a gruff voice. The other boys look up for just a second, then turn away again once they're sure the brutes are not asking for them. The man looks down at a photograph in his hand, then up again, scanning the room. His gaze settles on Sid. The lad braces himself. "That's me," Sid says with all the courage he can muster. He steps back towards the wall behind him. "Come with us. The train is waiting." "But what about my brother?" "We're not here for him. Just you. Let's go. Now." The boys look at each other. There is a sudden panic in Sid's eyes, something Harry has never seen before. He feels it too, and is frightened in a way he hasn't felt for, well, he can't remember when, but he knows it's been a long time. "But we're supposed to stay together," says Sid with a newly discovered defiance in his voice. "Our father said." "Well, your father ain't here now, is he?" asked the second man. "Let's go." The first man grabs Sid by the arm. Sid resists and pulls his arm away. The man grabs it again, this time more firmly, and begins to pull Sid towards the door. The second man picks up Sid's bag and follows. "No," Sid says as he pulls his arm away for a second time. The man impatiently grabs him again and gives his arm a yank. "No, let me be. Harry!" The man is stronger, and Sid begins to lose the struggle. "Harry!" he says again in desperation. Sid reaches out for Harry, They touch hands briefly, but Sid is pulled away and disappears from sight. The door closes. Harry can still hear his brother's protestations as they trail off down the hall. Then the room falls silent. Sid is gone. Harry stands alone, staring at the closed door, his face expressionless, while the other boys do their best to ignore what has just happened in front of them. Harry is in shock, unable to process what has just happened. In a moment, he faces for the first time the awful fate that has befallen him. The stoicism that has been his strength begins to fail him, and the horror of it all sweeps across his face. He is a 9-year-old boy, all alone in a strange land, thousands and thousands of miles from home. Everyone he has ever known is now gone from his life. Mother, father, Elizabeth, Fred, Leo, Laura, and now Sid. It is the deepest cut of all. Harry's life only made sense because Sid was in it. Now he's gone. And in that moment of abandonment, a pained wail burst from Harry's shattered heart. "No, Sid!"